Hey, this is Ryan Reynolds. I am playing for the Agbo Superhero Fantasy Football League. Agbo. Really rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
On to the talking. So I'm looking at this list of jokers in this league. Just saying. Just saying.
Now I'm playing Evans this week. Chris Evans, he's an actor. He had a short stint as Captain America, but I think it didn't really work until they ended up killing him off. But I'm excited to beat his ass.
I don't know anything about football. I don't know anything about fantasy football, which is going to make it all the more embarrassing when I wipe the floor with you men.
All right, Joe Russo, along with your brother Anthony, big-time Hollywood directors. Among them, among your credits, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, right, Captain America: Civil War, Avengers: Infinity War, and the highest-grossing movie of all time worldwide, Avengers: Endgame.
Which you also happen
I mean,
to be in.
I happen to be in. I mean, like, I've done one movie. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, on a per-movie basis, I think I'm the highest-grossing actor of all time.
Of all time.
Of all time.
No question, yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And you and I have become friends through fantasy football, and you had an idea. Tell me about this league that we're doing here, the Agbo Superhero League.
So we're calling it the Agbo Superhero League, and it is a charity league, okay? And the idea behind the league is, look, we all play a lot of fantasy football.
Sure.
Why don't we put some of that energy towards something productive and good and charitable? So the qualifications to get into the league, you either have to have been a superhero,
right,
or been in a superhero movie. One of those two things. So played a superhero in a superhero film, or at least been in the film.
Right.
And that's how you and I
sneak in. That's right.
To the league, because we've both been in a superhero.
Yes, you and I are both in Avengers
movie,
and both in Avengers Endgame, obviously.
Right.
So let's talk about this league. So Superhero League, Agbo, the production company you own with your brother
right.
Anthony.
So my brother and I own a studio. It's called Agbo. We started about 2 years ago. It's where we're focusing a lot of our attention post-Marvel. It's a film and television studio, and Agbo is graciously going to sponsor the league and is going to put up a $100,000 prize for charity.
This league is 14 people, which was amazing
Right.
to me. So 14 different charities are going to make money, $100,000 from Agbo, which is incredibly generous. The power of your cell phone managed to get us a pretty amazing list of people that are willing to play fantasy football for charity.
It's an incredible list, and a couple of first-timers, too.
Let's reveal who is in this league, and why don't we do it by draft order? So who has...
Okay. You want to start at the back?
At the back. So you have
go to the front?
You have pick 14.
I do.
I have pick 13.
Yep.
Pick 12.
Pick 12 is the incredible Robert Downey Jr.
The MCU. I mean,
That's
literally
right.
the man who started it all.
The man himself.
Right.
Mr. Iron Man.
Can I tell you that, so I played in a fantasy league a long time ago with Robert Downey Jr., and it was Alice in Chains, the rock band has
Was
a
he any good?
He was fantastic.
Okay.
And what was amazing is so when I first met Robert on set, like, I don't know if he knows who I am or anything like that and everything like that. And so the very first thing Robert Downey Jr. ever says to me was, I beat you in fantasy football once. And I'm like, wait, that was you? And I'm like, I remembered I played Robert Downey Jr. in this league, but I assumed it was an assistant or something. He's just like, I had you in the semis, Adrian Peterson. I'm like, dude. So, I mean, you know, RDJ is the great.
Has a very good memory.
Yeah, I mean, he's the best. And so getting him in this league is unbelievable. And I'm telling you, like, you think he's all super nice and positive, but I'm telling you, when it comes to fantasy, he's a little bit of a shark.
I feel bad that he's picking 12, but, you know, somebody has to pick 12.
I think he'll be all right. So who's number 11?
Number 11 is an excellent fantasy football player and a Kansas City Chiefs super fan, Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd at 11. So I wonder, does Tyreek Hill land to him at 11? I wonder, because he's going somewhat in the he goes around that area.
Yes, I've seen him sitting there.
Or Kelsey. He'll probably go Hill or Kelsey, but Rudd's always been well known as a longtime fantasy football player, a celebrity fantasy football player, and in fact, at the after party for the premiere at your restaurant, which by the way is amazing, I spent 20 minutes just doing nothing but talking fantasy with Paul Rudd.
Paul, he'll talk sports with you all day long.
Yeah, he's great. So that's gonna be a tough one. So Paul Rudd's in at 11, and then number 10, a first timer.
Yeah, we've got a first timer and the first of our Chris's. We have Chris Hemsworth at number 10, an Aussie.
Right.
You know, I don't know if Australian rules football and American football necessarily correlate. We're going to find out.
We will find out. So Iron Man, Ant-Man, and Thor are all in this league now. Who's at number 9?
Spider-Man.
Tom
Holland, yes.
Tom Holland. Maybe not in the MCU, but in our fantasy league at least.
He's another first-timer. You know?
Yeah.
UK resident. I know he's a sports fanatic, though. And literally, when he found out he was going to be in the league, he called me. He was like, Joe, send me some videos, send me some articles. I sent him a few of your articles.
Oh, thank you.
I was like, you know, inundated him with information about how to play fantasy football.
So you're at 14, I'm at 13. Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man at 12. Paul Rudd, Ant-Man at 11. Chris Hemsworth, Thor at 10. Tom Holland, Spider-Man at 9, which brings us to number 8, and a real ringer.
Chris Evans, he is a ringer.
Right.
Very
Captain
tough
America.
player. Yes, very good. Puts a lot of focus into it. You know the deal with fantasy football. You got to do your homework. You got to do your research. You have to have a strong understanding of every team in the league. Depth. You have to understand depth. You know. And Evans is a football fanatic.
We talked about being in a league together. I saw him again at the premiere. He came up to me and he says, "Hey, by the way, you were wrong on Cameron Brate," or something like that. And like, I mean, it was unbelievable. Like he remembered that, like I, made some bad call on Cameron Brate, like in week 4 or something like that. And I said, all right, let's play in a league together. Stop beating up on actors. Let's have some real competition, Evan. So I'm looking forward to taking him on specifically in this league. So, all right, Captain America number 8. Yes. And then it doesn't have to necessarily be an actor in the MCU.
That is correct. We wanted to open it up.
Yep.
We didn't want to be MCU exclusive. So at number 7, we have Miles Teller.
Great actor, amazing. Whiplash, one of my favorite movies.
Yep.
Mr. Fantastic in the Fantastic
That is right.
Four. Terrific actor. You and I have played in a league with him before.
That's right.
We did a celebrity league for our podcast, and so Miles is in that. And I think Miles won it 2 years ago. He's a really good fantasy player.
Again, another super fan, right?
Yep.
Philadelphia Eagles super
Loves
fan.
his birds, yeah.
Again, you have to be engaged with football. I mean, certainly you can enter a league and you can have a lucky year, but it's getting harder and harder every year, and everyone's getting more knowledgeable. And I'm noticing that the competition in all of my leagues, and I've had a couple of long-standing leagues, 15, 20-year leagues, that it's rising every year, and people who were weaker players at the beginning are now winning the league, and there's a lot of information out there, and people like you helping folks know who to pick.
Right, which I love.
Yeah.
So Miles Teller is at 7. Number 6.
Michael B. Jordan, I think, is a tremendous actor. We're going to find out how he is as a fantasy football player.
If he's half as intense at fantasy football as he was playing Killmonger in Black Panther, we're all in trouble.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, one of the all-time great performances. He's unreal.
Fantastic. It's like actor of his generation kind of actor. So we're excited to have him in the league.
So Michael B. Jordan at 6, which is amazing, and then not in the MCU at the moment, but maybe
this is, I think, probably going to be the biggest wild card trash talker in the league, hands down.
Right.
Perhaps the most entertaining trash talker in the league. He's certainly one of the best trash talkers on the internet, Mr. Deadpool himself, Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, Van City Reynolds. I'm looking forward to being in a league with him. No question. He's so clever. He's such a great actor, obviously. Those movies are amazing. So I was when you sent the text saying Reynolds is in, I was just like, I literally pumped a fist.
He was immediate too. It wasn't even, didn't even think twice about it. Sent him an email, heard back from him 5 minutes later. He's like, I'm in, let's do it.
Which is amazing.
Yep.
So anyway, so we got Deadpool at number 5. Who's coming? So now top 4.
Top 4. Star-Lord. Chris Pratt.
Who's a great fantasy
player.
player.
Our third Chris. We've got all the Chris's in the league, right?
Evans, Hemsworth, and Pratt comes in at 4. So I actually got to know Chris because when he first entered your league, I got a call on a podcast to hey, Chris needs advice. He's entering fantasy football for the first time. So the premise of that podcast that I did was giving Chris some advice.
So that's why he had such a good first draft.
I may have helped out.
Because I remember he, because you can kind of get a gauge early. You sit back a little bit. I did my draft prep, and I could tell who was at 2 rounds in, you can kind of tell who knows how to play and who doesn't know how to play. And by round 4, I was like, Pratt knows what he's doing here. He must have done a lot of homework.
I may have helped a little bit that first year. I may have helped a little bit that first year. But he's a huge Seattle Seahawks fan.
Yep.
It's so funny. We were talking, I don't know, I think last year or something like that, and he was asking about Lockett or Baldwin, and I'm like, dude, Russell Wilson. Can't you just text him
and ask him?
Why are you asking me? Why don't you talk to your buddy Russell and ask him who he's going to throw to? So, but Pratt is such a sweet guy that he doesn't want to do that. So, but he's also a very funny guy. So I think he's going to be a great trash talker. But he's a very good fantasy player.
And now we're going to see actually who the best Chris really is.
That's right. Finally a chance to see who is the best Chris.
Who's the best Chris?
That should be up for grabs. We're obviously all playing for charity, and everyone's playing for money to win for their charity. But I think whoever finishes highest in the league gets the title of Best Chris.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, 3 to go.
All right, number 3, we have a very entertaining human being, Mr. Anthony Mackie.
So when I came on set, that was the first question I asked.
Yeah.
Who talks the most trash? And Mackie was the answer that I got the most.
Yeah, always. You always get that. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Who makes people laugh the most on set, Mackie? Who messes up the most takes, Mackie? Who plays the most jokes, Mackie? He's great to have around. He's a lot of fun. He's a lot of fun to have in a fantasy league. It's yet to be determined whether he actually knows what he's doing or not.
Right.
We'll see in this league.
He finished like third in the, because he's in the podcast league as well.
He did.
He finished like third last year.
He finished higher than I did.
Yeah,
in the
he had a good year last year.
Yeah, I like to make fun of him though.
So that's fun. Yeah. So Falcon / Captain America seems like maybe. Yeah. We'll see what happens.
Got the shield now. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We'll see what happens in the future. But certainly Falcons in the league. And then obviously, so this is great. It seems like, wow, you got nothing but dudes in this league, right?
Yeah.
But that wasn't the design.
No.
It just probably, the better half, the fairer sex. It makes sense that they would wind up with high draft picks. And
That's
number
right.
2?
Number 2, another UK resident, a Scot, Karen Gillan, Nebula.
Who's who again? It's have to be a superhero movie. You don't have to necessarily be a superhero or quote a good superhero.
That is
right.
Right.
Right. So
Although
Killmonger, she's now good. She's now on the good side.
There is a good Nebula and a bad Nebula.
That's right. So
she can qualify as a good Nebula. Right?
Yes, she's absolutely a good Nebula.
A lovely human being, and jumped at the chance to play fantasy football. I think she's a first timer too. So we're gonna see how she does.
And then at number 1,
the amazing Lizzie Olsen is number 1.
Scarlet Witch.
Yep.
So incredible.
Yep.
So that's great. So she gets the number 1, and I think she's a first-time player as well. So
that is correct.
But which is incredible that for the first time, a lot of people are gonna have to play in a 14-team league. So what we did was we changed it up a little bit. I've been playing in these super flex leagues, which I absolutely love. So we're playing a quarterback, a running back, a wide receiver.
That's right.
Plus a kicker and a defense.
Yep.
And
no TE.
Yeah.
Right, but TE can rotate in on your flex.
Yeah, flex it can be running back, wide receiver, or tight end for the flex.
It just allows for more depth on the waiver wire, especially when you're playing with newer players, and they need that flexibility to find somebody to play for them.
Yeah, I played in a lot of 16-team, 14-team leagues, and having more roster flexibility like that really helps because it gets thin. Like if you're forced to start 2 running backs or 3 wide receivers, it gets really ugly.
It gets really ugly, and also too, if you're picking late and you have a bad draft in a very deep league like that, you can still recover through those flex positions if you play the waiver wire correctly. And so it feels like there's more opportunity, more options, and it does keep the league more fun.
So that's the league. We're going to do the draft. People will be able to follow the league publicly on ESPN.com. We're going to do updates every week on the Fantasy Show on ESPN Plus, on Fantasy Football Now on ESPN2, and a lot of other ESPN platforms as well, including all the ESPN social channels. And I believe there'll be certainly at the Russo brothers on Instagram will be updating us as well.
That's right. We will be updating, and I think there may be a few trash talk videos that get posted by some of the players in the league. I think everyone's going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, clearly, listen, it's a bunch of hams right here, right?
It is.
So, I mean, and you already got half the league is already known trash talkers, and I think those that aren't are either going to
they're going to jump in real quick.
Right.
I got a feeling Karen Gillan is going to really is going to really pick this up very quickly.
Which is amazing.
And Holland too. I don't know. He's a very nice guy. So we'll have to see whether he has the ability to trash talk, whether he's got it in him or not. But he's a very sweet human being. Well, listen, I can't wait for this league, my friend. I think this is going to be absolutely amazing, and I can't wait to let everyone see, let them in on this league and have a lot of fun. And we're going to get a lot of good awareness for some amazing charities, which is the most important thing. Absolutely, the most important part of this. So, this is it feels good to be playing for fantasy football for a good cause. Yeah, and thank you to Agbo for an incredible donation of $100,000. So thank you to Agbo. Thank you to you. I look forward to kicking your ass in our league. All right, buddy. All right. 13th and 14th. 13th and 14th. We'll see who finishes higher. We will. Yeah. We should have a side bet. Dinner bet? Yes, me and you? Let's do it. Dinner bet. Dinner bet. Easy. Done. All right. Winner gets to pick the restaurant, too. Winner gets to pick the restaurant. Loser picks up the check. That's right. Done. All right. I'm picking your restaurant, by the way. Okay, good. All right, thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports, more analysis, download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus. We'll see you there.